Hey, high school literacy leaders, welcome back to Curriculum Chats. This is DLC Foster Yankee, and in this video, I'll be discussing Lesson 3 in the second section of the Things Fall Apart unit. So, in this lesson, students will monitor comprehension and make adjustments such as rereading using background knowledge, asking questions, and annotating when understanding of the novel breaks down. They'll analyze how Achebe develops complex yet believable characters, including archetypes, through historical and cultural settings and events in chapters 14 and 15, and analyze how historical and cultural settings influence characterization, plot, and theme across chapters 14 and 15. The texts for this lesson are Things Fall Apart and Igbo Culture and History. And the tools are the Evaluating Ideas tool, Mentor Sentence Journal, Vocabulary Lists, Vocabulary Journal, and the Section 2 question set. For the lesson overview, we will begin reading Part 2 of Things Fall Apart. We will discuss tragic flaws and the cultural conflict introduced in Chapter 15. And there are 6 activities in this lesson, 2 of which are optional. This lesson begins with one of those optional activities in which students meet with a partner to discuss the homework reading, The Igbo People Meet the Europeans, the Era of Informal Empire, using the questions on the screen. What is the central idea of this section of the text? How does this information support or challenge what you know about colonization? How does this section of Igbo culture and history contribute to your understanding of Things Fall Apart? Next, still in Activity 1, they review the unit central question, what does it mean for things to fall apart? Consider all of the texts you've read in this unit and discuss the questions on the screen with a partner or small group. What is the relationship between the central question and the text you have read so far? How do the text shed light on the question? How does the question help you understand the text? How has your response to the central question evolved, deepened, or changed? They record their responses in their learning log. They will return to them in later lessons to examine how their understanding of the central question has evolved. In the next activity, the class considers the literary concept of the tragic flaw, with the teacher providing a definition, and they explore examples from literature or movies by thinking about the characters from popular movies, television shows, or novels, and listing at least 4 characters and their tragic flaws in their learning log. Examples are shared in groups, then each group shares one example with the class. The concept of tragic flaw may be new to students, so the teacher might want to share an example. The one provided in the teaching notes is Lenny from Of Mice and Men, who does not know his own strength, and this flaw leads to his eventual death after he kills Curly's wife. If they haven't been reading novels, they may not be familiar with that one, so stick to pop culture references. The teacher might ask students about characters with whom they are familiar to see if they believe those characters have tragic flaws. For example, Romeo and Juliet, Katniss from the Hunger Games, Gollum from the Lord of the Rings, Thanos from the Marvel Universe. Students may be interested in knowing that hubris is the Greek term that is normally associated with tragic flaws. And if they read, let me see, maybe Antigone, I think that's in another grade, they may be familiar with hubris. A character is considered to be suffering from hubris when they have excessive pride or fail to honor the natural order of things. So definitely Oedipus, which I don't think is part of Odell. Next, the class reads chapter 14 and responds to the questions on the screen in their learning logs. What is Okonkwo's attitude now that he has been exiled? What evidence from this text supports this interpretation? What does mother is supreme mean? Do you believe Okonkwo will learn from his talk with Uchendu beginning on page 133? Why? After they responded to those questions, they discussed the question at the bottom of the screen in their group. Does Okonkwo have a tragic flaw? What is it? Support your answer with evidence from the text. Next, the class has a discussion about the questions on the screen. Where else in the novel has this flaw been observed? So definitely they should have been able to identify a flaw in Okonkwo. What are some possible consequences of this flaw? Do you believe Okonkwo is capable of change? Why? To support students, the teacher might have a conversation about Mother is Supreme with the class and see how it relates to their cultures. Next, students read chapter 15 on their own. When they finish, they read through it again while completing the evaluating ideas tool using the guiding question, what are Okonkwo's and Obiorika's reactions to the destruction of Abame? This tool is used to deepen student understanding through rereading while focusing on key words, phrases, or sentences that relate to a specific question from the text. This is the first time that students use the Evaluating Ideas tool in this unit, so the teacher might explain its purpose in an organization and model how students can use it to move from identifying key details to describing effects of the author's choices and the meaning they find in the text. To support students, the teacher might refer students to the quote from Okonkwo on page 140 that begins, "They should have armed themselves," and the quote from Obiorika on page 140, "Never kill a man who says nothing." The next activity is an optional one that can be used as a before, during, or after reading assignment. Students review the terms on the vocabulary list for chapter 15 here at the top of the screen and add words that are unfamiliar to them to their vocabulary journal. When they see each word in context, they determine if they can understand its meaning. If they can, they write a definition, then verify their definition using an online dictionary. Students choose 5 vocabulary words from the vocabulary list for chapter 15 to learn more deeply, contextualize them following the process on the screen, which uses the word retain as an example. Lesson 3 concludes with students reading chapters 16 through 17 and responding to the questions on the screen from the Section 2 question set to focus their understanding. As they read, they write new or interesting words from chapters 16 and 17 in their vocabulary journal and at least 2 sentences from chapters 16 and 17 in their mentor sentence journal. So we have our cub for lesson 3. Students will know what a tragic flaw is. They'll understand how Achebe develops complex yet believable characters, including archetypes through historical and cultural settings and events in chapters 14 through 15, and be able to discuss with a partner, does Okonkwo have a tragic flaw? What is it? And support their answer with evidence from the text. So that's a wrap for this video. I welcome your feedback and look forward to hearing from you either on Twitter, via email, or in the comments. While you're here, don't forget to subscribe so you never have to worry about missing a video. Thanks for watching.